it's Crystal, and today I'm going to be talking about Beautiful Broken Things by Sarah Bernard. This is a spoiler-free review, so if you haven't read the book, please stick around and hear my thoughts. First, I'm just going to give you the description that's on the back and wrap it up into a brief summary. Caddy and Rosie have always been inseparable, but that was before Suzanne. Now Caddy wants to be more than the quiet one. She wants something to happen. Suzanne is trying to escape her past and be someone free, but sometimes downward spirals have a momentum of their own, and no one can break your heart like a best friend. I was brave, she was reckless, we were trouble. I love this book. This book is about a girl named Caddy. She just turned 16 and she only has one really good friend, Rosie. They've been best friends since kindergarten, but in high school they go to different schools. Caddy goes to a private all-girls school while Rosie goes to a mixed public school. They still catch up on the weekends, but being in high school and turning 16, they start to drift apart as they do different things. Rosie wants to go out to parties and Caddy's not comfortable around other people. Caddy has led a very sheltered life and, in her words, a very dull life. She just wishes for something significant to happen, whether that be bad or good. She wants something in her life to happen, something different. Everything changes when a new girl, Suzanne, starts at Rosie's school. Rosie and Suzanne quickly become close, so Caddy starts to feel left out as if she's losing her only friend, and she's not sure how to cope with these feelings. But she also has a suspicion that Suzanne is hiding something. Through pushing and prodding, Caddy discovers Suzanne's secret, and it starts this whole new adventure and shift in the friendships. I found this book to be a very powerful book. It talks about some complex issues, not just the complexity of female friendships, especially in teenage years, but with trauma and mental health and how one person's downward spiral can suck everyone close in down with them. And it's that struggle of wanting to help a friend who needs it, but at the same time not allowing them to, or enabling them to participate in the reckless behaviour. I found this book very well written. I didn't find many plot holes. I might have some things to go back over, or you might have read the book and feel differently. If so, leave a comment down below. We can hash it out. But I felt like it's the type of book that teenage girls should be reading in schools and things like that. Sometimes you don't know how to deal with a situation like that, and then you have parents who don't want you to associate with this person because they just see it as a negative influence instead of someone who needs help. I found the characters to be very interesting, in particular Suzanne and Rosie, who kind of fades out but is still a large part of the story in a sense. Now, I did find Caddy's character to be quite naive and innocent. I think that was the point. I think the point is that she's led a sheltered life, and that by her being open up to these other events, it will change her or make her more aware of things outside of that little bubble that she's grown up in. She hasn't experienced much outside that bubble aside from what she's seen through Rosie. So this is a whole new experience for her and a whole new situation that she didn't have the capability to handle before this. It's set in beautiful Brighton in the UK, on the beachfront. Being a UK book, there were a few places that I hadn't heard of before and didn't quite realise what they were until certain other things came up. But it was a really good read. It was easy, I read it all in one night, but it also did focus on some serious issues in a way that wasn't too graphic. And I feel like it would be a great read for teenage girls, especially those in high school and who might have friends who have gone through a similar thing like this. So while looking up reviews on YouTube just to see if many people had read this book and what their thoughts and opinion were on it, I stumbled across a book tag relating specifically to this book, and I thought it'd be fun to do it in this video. Here we go! I'd choose Tessa Gray. I think that we would get along great, and I'd love to sit down and talk books with her over milkshakes. That sounds like a lot of fun. That'd have to be Harry Potter. So I even have the tattoo. So my recent favourite action-packed novel would have to be Angelful. I read the first two books. I've yet to read the last book, but they were full of action and they were really good, and they were different to anything I had read around that time. Different take on angels and the whole end of the world and everything. So my recent favourite would have to be The Fifth Wave. More in the second book than the third, they go into the multiple points of view, but I found it very interesting how the different characters thought and their view on everything that was happening. So that would have to be Jace Herondale. He's not my favourite Herondale, but he is the hero and he seems like the type who would be reckless enough, but in the way of saving lives. So I'd trust that he wouldn't care what it took, he would save my life and get me out of there. This is what happy looks like. Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I have two books for this one. First one I have is Speechless by Hannah Harrington. This was an amazing book. It's about a girl who is known for spilling everyone's secrets. She's the biggest gossip around. But the last secret she tells not only winds a few people in jail, but somebody almost dies. And then she takes a vow of silence, and it's a very interesting novel. Definitely recommend it. And the other book I have is Destroying Avalon. This book is actually based in Australia. It's based in Perth, and it's about a girl who moves from a small rural town to Perth and bullying and all that kind of stuff, and it's a really good book, and it's another one that I definitely recommend for teenagers. But I wouldn't just recommend this for teenage girls. The whole point of the cyberbullying and suicide and mental health, I think everyone should read this book. So that's it for my book tag and review. I'm thinking of doing a more in-depth discussion sometime in the near future, and I was thinking of doing it as a live stream so that you guys can participate and keep the discussion going. Please leave a comment down below if you're interested in that idea. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!